Hello, everyone. Welcome to our discussion. This is Roger and Lou, and welcome to our discussion on the journey to removing energetic blockages. Roger and I, when we were considering talking about this subject, we realized that this is probably a very large subject. And so we want to call it out that this is probably just part one of our discussion. I'm Lou Urban. I'm a transformational coach and energy worker who part of my energy work is I concentrate on removing energetic blockages. And my co-host is...
And hi, I'm Roger Dawson. I am a law of attraction life coach, a hypnotherapist, a light body worker, and really into energy as well. And I too am working on ways to heal through energetic releases, and mostly learning a lot on myself, my own vessel. So anyway, Lou, I'll turn it over to you to kind of get us kicked off on this.
Sure. Part of what, since Roger and I both have some experience in working with energy, part of what we identified is that there is sometimes a misconception about whether or not a blockage can be removed doing one certain thing. That there is, you follow this process and it's gone and you never go back to it again. And I think that we've both learned, at least I have learned, that there are multiple things that go into a block. If you remove one of the triggers, there's potential for that block still to be there because there's other triggers or other contributing factors. Would that be part of your experience, Roger?
It would be, and you said the magic trigger word, trigger, because really when you think about things that we might want to cleanse and release or remove from us, stage fright, that's something that a lot of people have. You know, you're a lifetime. So I am 50 years old. So if I was in a situation where that was the thing I was going to do today, I have 50 years of life experiences, triggers that have got me to this horrible stage fright state, right? And to maybe do a process that would remove that element, certainly there's so many variations of what could drive that energy of fright being on stage, to think that you could do something one time and it solve that issue 100%. Is it possible? Absolutely. Did it take you 50 years to get there? Absolutely. And so, I think that as you look at different things and you go down the path on whatever it is that you want to release, that blockage, that limiting belief, I think you have to really recognize that setting an intention to do it with your outcome, and then being very diligent about doing whatever it takes to get it done. And that might be multiple processes. It might be the same one over and over and over again, and exploring all the feelings around that experience, that limiting belief that you want to release. That makes sense?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100% that there is potentially multiple layers to this. I kind of look at energy healing as an onion.
Oh, yeah.
You never know how many layers of that onion are there. Mm-hmm. You clear out that outside layer, that one that is, the most present, the one that you recognize or realize that's going on, clear that out. Oh, feel that energetic release. Oh, I'm all good. I'm free. And then you're at the next layer. And you have to clear that and clear the next one and the next, until you finally get to really what that root issue is.
And something that I want to call to everyone's attention was, you said, oh, gee, you got through that first level and you're like, that first layer of the onion, you're like, oh, I can feel it. You literally can feel a release,
yes,
a lightness, an airiness to your being. That's kind of your indicator that you've at least got through that one layer of
absolutely
of what you're working on. And then when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you go on to the next layer.
Yes.
And there may be some of these things that you just quite never get done. But the fact that with each layer you remove, and that energetic release that you feel, you're just one step closer to the intent that you set when you started the process.
Absolutely. I kind of look at it in another way, another picture
Mm.
that I could create for people is that I look at it as a dam. That block is a dam. It's holding back this huge river, okay? That's going on behind it, this raging river. And if
Mm-hmm.
you were to clear all of that, clear away that dam all at once, you'd create a flood. Your energetic system would be so overloaded, there is no way that you'd be able to handle it. You go, yeah, total, something would happen. I don't even know. I don't even want to go there. But if you chip away at that dam a little bit at a time and you let some of that energy that's being blocked, let it be released and come out, then it's a lot healthier. You allow for integration of that water.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, totally agree. And just to kind of add another visual or analogy to it, you know, I'm of the belief that weight loss is tied to the energy of your body and blockages that you may have around. You know, it could be anywhere, things from food to the appearance you have, to that one pair of jeans that you've still got in the closet that you want to get back into when you were 18 years old, that type of thing. And if a person, because certainly obesity in America is way out there. So a lot of people could probably lose 50 pounds and to put them back to where they need to be. And if they were to literally release the energy that's involved in that 50 pounds, and I notice that saying releasing the 50 pounds, releasing that energy, if they were to do that with the strike of one process in one day, it would be so damaging to the body that it probably could be life-ending, and I think that's a good comparison. There's a reason why it may take you, 25 weeks to release 50 pounds, as an example. And so just because you have to think about, if we are energy, and I think you and I both agree that we are energy beings, that we have to allow that energy to transmute itself into a new form. So.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. And it is really about that. It's about putting yourself in the right space energetically to be able to handle, to release, and then handle the after effects of that release as well.
Yeah.
Because in the body physically, there's also toxins that are built up around those energetic blockages too. And so if you release too big of a blockage, you can literally poison your own system, your own physical system, by the toxins that are released. So this has multiple implications of why it's not practical for people to try and release everything at once. Not only it doesn't work that way.
Right. Totally agree. You could probably roll through your Facebook feed right now and find various things around energetic blockages or getting rid of this limiting belief, or this is what's holding you back from abundance. And it's all good material. And I think the thing that because certainly I have purchased plenty of material myself that when I went through and did it, and I'm kind of very, very diligent about following a process to the T, and then you get to the end of it and you're like, did I really see that benefit or not? And it takes me going back to my library of universal courses that I have, and it's literally a library. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that course that I did 3 years ago, I didn't think it really did anything for me. It just took my energetic being a chance to let it all soak in and transform into this thing that I really did. Because it wasn't just it wasn't instantaneous gratification. Go
ahead. You are pointing out such a good point, Roger, is that people look for that miracle. I was one way before, and now I'm my brand new way, and I've arrived in that brand new way. And it's not about that. When you're working with energy, it really is. It's like creating that alternate path. Where let's say that you're going along at, this is your path, your straightforward path. Well, you clear a little bit of energy, you create a different path out there. And until you get a ways down the road, you're not going to see the distance between where you were and where you went to.
Right, right. Oh,
It's a
very well.
gradual.
It is. And so to anyone that our message is resonating to, stay steadfast and focused on your intent, what it was,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
and believe you're doing it. And in time, you will see the results of your whatever it was you were working on, whatever you were trying to release, an energetic blockage, to wait, to receive the abundance, because there's a lot of courses out there around do this process, and that will remove your energetic blockages around receiving the $1 million or whatever it is, and it all ties together. It's all this beautiful work of art
Absolutely.
that is crafted over your awareness of now.
And it really is a journey. That's what we started out with, it's a journey. It is about being mindful and setting the intention in order to continue down that journey, identifying those blocks that you want to remove, and then continuing on with that, knowing that I'm working on this and I will get there. Is that what you're trying to say, Roger?
It is, and I will share with you, just in my own experience, that as I've identified something that's come up for me, 10 years of getting there, but I now am able to isolate that into a place in my mind where I'm able to heal it, release it, let it go. And so we're talking about the miracle. And so I have things where I do see the miracle the next morning, or the next time I'm thinking, oh, this did not create the reaction that it had in the past. But I will tell you, I too have things that it's all about going through the process and the journey of the awareness of getting to that place without that limiting belief in your vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would agree with you. That yes, there are oftentimes for me too, something that it's like there's that realization that I've been working on something for a while, and then there's that realization that, oh my God, there really has been progress here.
Mm-hmm.
That miracle, in that moment does happen, but it's because I've continued on this journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you get there and you see it, man, love yourself up. Love yourself up.
Total celebration. Yes.
Yeah. I do these things. People don't know what I'm doing, but I'm literally hugging myself.
Mm-hmm.
And some people call that, loving your inner child. I've heard it referred to that before as well. But for me, I'm like loving myself up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For me, it's that just taking that moment, being mindful about celebrating in the moment. It sounds like that's what you're doing too, but for me, it's about celebrating that journey that has been, and that at least arriving at that point where there was that miracle. With still the recognition there's more to do, but celebrating that success or that win.
Yeah, something I would like to share with our friends out in the YouTube world is when something comes up for you, give it a name. We all have names. Give it a name. Brian, get your to really name whatever that is. And it may have multiple names, but give it to the one that comes to first to mind, and that's a place where you would start really kind of focusing on releasing that energy, and then as you kind of work through that, you're going to eventually, it may have a couple of other names that you may kind of give it along the way, but that's kind of a way to do it, so that when you have created that vow or that name of what you're trying to get beyond or to release, it definitely, it's like calling a name in the crowd. All of the Rogers will turn around and look at you. If you yell their names, there's another Roger in the crowd. Well, it gets that blockage's attention.
Oh, absolutely. Totally understand. I recently worked with Worried Wanda.
Mm.
See, and I gave her a name so that she and I could have some interaction with each other. So I could work with her in order to help her to understand what her new purpose was going to be. And that really is it. It's not that any of us are going, not necessarily that we're releasing that energy. We're sometimes repurposing it as well. That it's you give it a new path, and that, we're changing electrical energy into wind power energy or whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
but it really is about that, about the sometimes changing the course of that energy or the path of that energy, instead of it being just a stationary, getting it moving again, giving it a purpose, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And and sometimes I even find that, sometimes I can't put a name on it, but I can sure put a feeling on it.
Absolutely.
And that's where the vibration of energy kind of comes into play in my mind, because when I can't give it a name, the Worry Wanda or whatever it might be, I can say, oh, but this is how I feel. And I feel this way in my solar plexus. Ooh, that's interesting, right? So
absolutely.
And then what to kind of do with that, because the more and more I go through this ascension path, this enlightenment journey that I'm on, I find that words don't always have, sometimes there are not words to describe the healing that may need to occur. And so you got to go with that vibrational feeling place. And
absolutely.
So keep in mind, if you can name it, certainly name it. If you can't, just, how you feel, only you know.
Absolutely.
So go there.
I wanted to share that oftentimes those blockages that I can't name, I can't name it at this point because I'm not ready for it to be removed. There's other work that I need to do in order to make myself ready for that, to be able to handle that blockage. And so it isn't a good thing or a bad thing that you can name it or not name it. It just, part of the recognition might be that there might be something else you need to work on first.
Yeah. Totally agree. And each and every person's experience is going to be their own.
Absolutely.
Because there isn't a match to us out there. We are individual, and we are actually all a collective one, right? So
absolutely.
So we're this one part of the one. Yeah.
Yes. So Roger, do you think maybe we should stop at this point? I know you and I, there's a whole lot more we could say, but
yes, I know. I had notes that I didn't go through just yet.
I know,
but I agree. I think this is kind of like a good place to kind of take a breath, and we'll continue this conversation, because I only wish that someone could have shared this with me early in the process, and maybe they did, and I just wasn't ready to hear them.
absolutely.
So I want to certainly help anyone through this, that through my experiences that I've gone through, and may resonate, may not. This is something that I've gone through, and I know you've gone through your journey as well. And
yes,
and so there you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. More to come.
Yes, more to come.
Tune in for the next conversation around energy blockages. I am Lou Urban. Again, if you want to know any more about me, you could certainly go to my website, louurban.com. And Roger also has a website. You can locate his at rogerkdawson.com. Anything else you want to?
No. Love and light.
Bye, everybody. Talk to you next time.